So let me take all of you guys back just over 10 years ago, from the years 2006 to 2008, and Valve releases Half-Life 2 Episode 1 and Episode 2, Portal, Team Fortress 2, Counter-Strike Online, Left 4 Dead, and their video game compilation of the Orange Box. Rockstar Games releases Bully Manhunt 2, Grand Theft Auto Vice City Stories, Grand Theft Auto 4, and Midnight Club Los Angeles. Oh, and that table tennis game. Yeah, that happened. Bethesda Game Studios releases The Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion and 2 DLCs, and Fallout 3. Now fast forward to the current day, and in the last 3 years we've seen Rockstar bring Grand Theft Auto 5 to the Xbox One, PlayStation 4, and PC. Bethesda Game Studios brought us Fallout 4 and 2 significant DLCs, and some other smaller things like Fallout 4 VR and Skyrim Special Edition. Valve, on the other hand, have released some smaller things that I don't think many people knew existed, such as the Lab. So the next question is, what is the future of these three gaming giants that dominated this industry just a decade ago? Valve has a collectible cards game Artifact in 2018, Bethesda Game Studios has a rumored space role-playing game called Starfield coming in 2018, and Rockstar Games obviously has Red Dead Redemption 2. But aside from these 2018 games, the future of these companies seem very mysterious. Valve's support for Steam is clearly their main attention these days. Rockstar continues to destroy records with Grand Theft Auto Online, and probably Red Dead Online soon. Bethesda Game Studios continues to do their same thing, although they've also been linked to maybe making a freemium game and releasing Skyrim on every console or platform available. Some people have been saying that Bethesda Game Studios is milking their properties a little too much, but the main point that I've tried to give out is that these three gaming companies have changed in different ways. Many fans believe that Bethesda is catered more towards the average gamer, which is why Fallout 4 was missing a lot of the core role-playing elements that gamers have become accustomed to with their games. It feels that Valve's interest in single-player games has diminished because of the success with Steam and their multiplayer only game with Counter-Strike, and Rockstar Games, well, all you have to do is look at Grand Theft Auto Online and the record revenue it has generated. I've said this for a while, but single-player games, at least in the AAA gaming space, seem to be diminishing. This video could have certainly been titled What Happened to BioWare or Lionhead Studios or even United Front Games. Multiplayer experiences that have the potential to make huge profits have taken over the AAA gaming industry, which can be evidenced with the microtransaction shenanigans and rushed out games seen from the big publishers like EA, Ubisoft, Activision, and Warner Brothers, who somehow goes unnoticed even though they probably are the worst of these four. Microsoft's own Phil Spencer, who is the current head of Xbox, gave a very interesting take on single-player games, saying, quote-unquote, the audience of those big story-driven games, I won't say isn't as large, but they are not as consistent. You'll have things like The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild or Horizon Zero Dawn that will come out, and they'll do really well, but they don't have the same impact as they used to have because of the big service-based games are capturing such a large amount of the audience. Sony's first-party studios do a lot of those games, and they're good at them, but outside of that, it's difficult. They become more rare. It's a difficult business decision for those teams. You're fighting into more headwind. We've got to understand that if we enjoy those games, the business opportunity has to be there for them. I love story-based games. I just finished Timbleweed Park. Inside was probably my game of last year. As an industry, I want to make sure both narrative-driven single-player games and service-based games have the opportunity to succeed. I think that's critical for us. Phil points out the unfortunate state of gaming, and he's right on the bullseye. He later clarified a little bit, saying, quote-unquote, as an industry, we should want single-player games to be healthy. Today as a genre, we see fewer single-player games being built. As some have pointed out, Sony continues with their great console-exclusive single-player experiences with games like Horizon Zero Dawn, Uncharted 4, and The Last of Us. Xbox has additionally had success with Gears of War 4, Ori and the Blind Forest, and Dead Rising 4 as of late. What I'm trying to say is that the gaming industry has changed. We may not be getting these special single-player experiences as often anymore. We've been lucky to have games like CD Projekt's The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt and Monolith Productions' Shadow of Mordor in the last few years, but looking down the road into the future, these experiences aren't coming as consistently and they're always changing. An example of that is even with these two developers I just mentioned. As CD Projekt plans on adding a multiplayer in their next game Cyberpunk 2077, and Monolith Productions has added microtransactions into their single-player only game Shadow of War, which I don't even want to get started on how ridiculous that is. But getting back to the three main teams I have in the title, Rockstar Games seems to be all in on their multiplayer experiences, and we're yet to see the direct impact on how it will affect their other new games coming in the future. But it should be noted that Grand Theft Auto 5 was planned to have a single-player DLC, but that was scrapped because of the success of Grand Theft Auto Online. Additionally, over the years, many insiders have reported that games like Agent, Red Dead Redemption 2, and Bully 2 were either cancelled or halted because, again, of the success of Grand Theft Auto Online. Valve, on the other hand, have had success all around, whether that's from Steam or Counter-Strike Global Offensive, which is why their single-player game franchises such as Team Fortress, Left 4 Dead, Portal, and Half-Life have not gotten any new installments, even though over the years there have been rumors and reports of sequels to these games being in development. Lastly, with Bethesda Game Studios, they are the one developer among these three that hasn't yet gone down the path of throwing in a multiplayer, although Bethesda's Todd Howard has said that they've tried to implement that mode into their games, but it has never worked. Job listings have been spotted specifically looking for quote-unquote a game performance manager who will envision, evolve, and operate monetization strategies, which is certainly interesting because this could be microtransactions coming in the future. Also, let's not shy away from the fact that Bethesda Game Studios has made some questionable decisions bringing paid mods back, kind of, with the Creation Club, and the way that they have approached Fallout 4's DLC. I think most of us expect we'll see Valve eventually make a third game for one of their franchises. Bethesda Game Studios will still deliver unique single-player games, but as seen in Fallout 4, will the role-playing element return or not? And Rockstar Games will continue with Red Dead Redemption and Grand Theft Auto, but other franchises may be long gone now. So to answer that question, what has happened to Rockstar Games, Valve, and Bethesda Game Studios? Well, their developers all strive to make great games, but it's clearly all about revenue for the publishers, whether that's making multiplayer DLC consistently for years or multiplayer only games, or even making cheaper alternatives with card and mobile games. Looking to the future, we still have great single player games coming, such as Borderlands 3, The Last of Us Part 2, Red Dead Redemption 2, Death Stranding, and so many more. But I'm certainly worried that 10 years from now, games like this will be a thing of the past. And thinking about it right now, who knows what Rockstar Games, Valve, and Bethesda Game Studios will look like in a decade. Anyway guys, I'm sure there will be a mixed response to this because some people really do like what we have now with games like Overwatch, Grand Theft Auto Online, and Elder Scrolls Online. And there certainly are still great single player games out there such as Dishonored 2, Horizon Zero Dawn, Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, and The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt, and so many more. I think and hope the quality is always going to be there for most of these developers, but it really is a question that I've been asking myself. Do we like what these studios have turned into? Because a decade ago, if someone told me Rockstar Games is going to turn their attention to the multiplayer side, or Valve was pretty much going to stop releasing games for their most beloved franchises, or Bethesda Game Studios would cater their games to a more general audience, I wouldn't believe you. Also, about a decade ago, I loved Ubisoft. I thought their work on Far Cry and Assassin's Creed was amazing, but now it certainly is not the same. And the same goes for Activision and the supply drop madness that has come to Call of Duty. Anyway guys, what do you think of this? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. I'm a little sick if you haven't been able to tell with my voice, so thank you for bearing with me through this video, and I do ask that you make sure to consider smacking that like button if you did enjoy this video or found any informative value, and consider subscribing for all the latest news on huge upcoming games, and I'll see you later.